On the night of February 3rd, 2013, Monica Quan and Keith Lawrence, 28 and 27, are just getting back to their condo in Irvine, California for the evening. They pull into a spot on the top deck of their parking garage, and not long after they park, someone walks up to the car, pulls out a gun, and starts firing. It appears that the shooter empties the clip. Later, 14 shells are found around the car. Around 9 that night, the car is discovered. The windows are blown out and there are 2 bodies in the front seat. Monica and Keith. There are no signs of a struggle and nothing seems to have been stolen. It's not a scene that feels random. This double homicide in Irvine kicks off what is soon to be the biggest story in the news and one of the largest manhunts in California's history. By the time this is all over 9 days later, the story of Christopher Dorner will end in fire and in bullets, leaving behind 4 dead, more wounded, fear, accusation, confusion, and the big question on everyone's mind in California, around the nation, and around the media: how the hell did this happen? This is Deviant. Welcome back to Deviant, where we chase the truth into the dark corners of what humans are capable of. I'm Dan Szematowicz. Thanks for being here today. Today, a story you may remember from 2013. I sure do. At the time, I was working at CNN, which actually figures into this story. Not me, but CNN. This is the story of Christopher Dorner, a former LAPD officer who was fired from his job and decides to take it out on other police and their families. Dorner's place in criminal history is that of, I think, a different kind of killer. He wasn't a serial killer. He wasn't a mass shooter. He wasn't even a terrorist, even though he was labeled as a domestic terrorist. I guess the closest category would be revenge killer, but he did it in a way that operationalized his knowledge of being a trained member of the military and a trained police officer. He decides to hunt other people. He writes a manifesto. He forms a plan, and he puts that plan into action. And by the time he kills Monica and Keith on that night in February 2013, his plan is already well underway. But before we get to that plan and how it unfolds, let's back up a little bit and look how everything gets here in the first place. Christopher Dorner is born in 1979 and grows up in Southern California. In 2002, he's in his early 20s when he's commissioned as an officer in the Navy. He's a big dude with big muscles. In all the pictures I've seen, he towers in the frame. Building off of the security training he gets to the military, he joins the LAPD Police Academy in 2005. He goes through training, graduates, and then the Navy snatches him back up for a bit. This time, he's sent to Bahrain. So far, so good, at least outwardly. Some of the signals show up early, though. An instructor at the LAPD's Police Academy tells the Los Angeles Times that Dorner's a problem during his time there, that he doesn't think that the rules apply to him. The troubles continue in 2007 when he gets back from his deployment. He picks things back up with the LAPD and starts out as most cops do. He's a probationary officer, a probie. His training officer says that on his very first day, Dorner, who is black, claims that once his probationary period is over, he plans to sue the department over what he alleges is racist treatment he experienced at the academy. According to that officer, Dorner has a tough time in the field and makes too many mistakes. This comes to a head on July 28, 2007, when they respond to a call about a man with severe mental health issues causing a disturbance at a hotel in San Pedro. When the officers confront the man, a struggle happens. A taser shot subdues him, and he's arrested. Fast forward 2 weeks. Dorner's training officer submits an evaluation of how he's doing as a new officer. It's not good at all. At the same time, Dorner files a report accusing the training officer of excessive force. He says he saw the officer kick the man from 2 weeks ago after he was subdued, handcuffed, and on the ground. Investigations and internal hearings happen. No witnesses at those hearings describe seeing the incident happen as Dorner alleges. Dorner is then summoned to a disciplinary hearing. His attorney at the hearing calls the case, and I'm paraphrasing here, ugly and unfair, that Dorner is being made into a scapegoat, that in reporting his superior, Dorner makes the right choice. That attorney's name is Randall Quan. He's a retired LAPD captain and has a daughter named Monica. The board decides that Officer Dorner is making it all up. And in 2008, the Los Angeles Police Department fires him from the force for making false statements. Dorner is furious, and he spends his next few years of time and resources appealing the decision. He doesn't succeed. His anger grows, and he begins to plan. On the night of February 3rd, 2013, Irvine homicide detectives have a tough crime scene to sort through. 14 spent bullet casings, 2 victims, 1 shattered car, no witnesses, and no obvious motive. The murders of Monica Quan and Keith Lawrence have no solid leads. About an hour and a half south of Irvine is National City. It's a border town very close to Mexico. Police there are working on something unrelated when they discover a few unusual items in a dumpster. A high-capacity clip for a 9mm pistol, police clothing, and a name tag. It says, Christopher Dorner. National City cops check nearby surveillance cameras and see a man who resembles Dorner throwing those items into that dumpster. They run his name and find some alarming things. They see his troubled past, that he's an ex-LA cop fired for disciplinary and honesty issues. But also, they find his Facebook page. On it, for anyone to see, is what can only be described as a manifesto. In it, he makes his grievances about what happened with his situation very clear. He's angry, and he makes threats against the police involved in his firing, even tangentially, and their families. He names names. This is a hit list. He doesn't stop there, though. I'm not going to quote too much directly from the manifesto, but in it, Dorner says, I will bring unconventional and asymmetrical warfare to those in LAPD uniform, whether on or off duty. I will target officers and their families. National City alerts the LAPD about what they found and who it belongs to. Word then gets out to nearby Irvine, and police there check out Dorner for themselves. As they make their way through the manifesto, one of the names on the list immediately jumps out. Randall Quan, the attorney and ex-cop who represented Dorner at his disciplinary hearing. They already know that he's Monica's father. The dots are connecting, and Irvine police have their suspect. Now, they just have to find him. He's not at home, so where? Is he in the area? Is he in Mexico? He could be anywhere. So on February 6th, Christopher Dorner is named publicly, and the hunt is on. Police all over Southern California are on the lookout. It won't take long for Dorner to surface, though. And when he does, he's not running, he's hunting. The specific names on Dorner's kill list are all attached to the Los Angeles Police Department in one way or another. They know that Dorner's armed, trained, and on the move. They also know who his likely targets are, and they put protective details on all of them. For police operations, this is what high alert looks like. All police, especially those protective details, are watching for Dorner's gray Nissan Titan pickup truck. And so is anyone who watches the local news on February 6th when this goes wide. In the early morning hours of February 7th, around 1 a.m., 2 LAPD officers assigned to protect one of the people on Dorner's list are on their way to start their shift. Their protectee lives in Corona. If you're not familiar, Corona is a town in Riverside County just outside LA. It's out of their jurisdiction, but because of the extraordinary nature of the threat, they're being allowed to operate there. They stop their unmarked car at a gas station in town, and they're approached by a civilian who says that they've just seen a man resembling Dorner in a gray Nissan truck. The possible sighting isn't far away from the gas station, so they go and check it out. When they arrive in the area, they see a gray Titan. They follow it. As they approach the freeway, the driver of the truck decides to pull over to the side of the road. Despite the unmarked car they're in, they've clearly been made. They slow down to pass the car and take a look at the driver. As they do, Christopher Dorner opens up on their car with a high-powered rifle. The officers return fire with their service pistols, but they're badly outmatched in firepower. One of the officers is hit in the head. It's a graze, but all this adds up to the very wise decision to retreat. Dorner does the same, hits the gas, and escapes. Shots fired and officer down calls flood police airwaves. All nearby agencies go into emergency mode. Corona Police, LAPD, the California Highway Patrol, and Riverside Police, they're all hunting for Dorner and his Nissan Titan. They know now that this isn't a simple find him and arrest him job. Dorner is looking for a fight and will open fire on sight. What they don't know yet is they're targets too. All of them. The next stop in the story is nearby, in the city of Riverside. About half an hour after the encounter with the LAPD protection detail, 2 Riverside police officers are on patrol in their squad cars. they pull up to a red light. Another car pulls up too. It's Dorner, and he immediately attacks. He opens up with his rifle at close range. One of the officers is critically wounded, but survives. The other, 34-year-old Officer Michael Crane, is killed. Dorner flees and disappears into the night. He's now shot 5 people. 3 of them are dead. The manhunt now escalates dramatically. Tactical teams deploy, helicopters run search patterns, checkpoints are put in place everywhere, but Dorner is nowhere to be found. About 11 hours after the Riverside shooting, police catch a break and it's not where they expect. About 60 miles north, a burning Nissan Titan is found near the vacation area of Big Bear. It's Dorner's. The discovery sets off a massive police response. Effectively, it's an invasion. Police are racing north as this story goes national. And the true scope of what Dorner has in mind is about to become clear after a package is opened on the other side of the country. Around the time that all this happened, I was working at CNN. Back then, there were 3 major headquarters: CNN Center in Atlanta, the Washington, D.C. Bureau, where I was, and the New York Bureau. At the time, the New York Bureau was at the Time Warner Center on Columbus Circle at the southwest corner of Central Park. Gorgeous area. The newsroom there was on a big, open floor with a live set in the center. Close to there is where Anderson Cooper and his show team work and get ready for air. On February 1st, 2013, 2 days before Christopher Dorner shoots and kills Monica and Keith, a package arrives at the New York Bureau. It's addressed to Anderson. So at CNN, we're used to getting letters and packages coming in. It happened all the time at every bureau. It's the case with all news outlets, actually. Most of them get opened. They're often pretty normal, but they're also often pretty kooky. But sometimes they're newsworthy. When this package is opened, its contents are pretty unusual. There's a large gold LAPD challenge coin engraved with the name of former LAPD Chief William J. Bratton. Coins like this are given out by police and military to others as tokens of respect, acknowledgement, camaraderie, all that. This one has been shot through by multiple bullets. Attached to the coin is a post-it note. It says, "I never lied. Here is my vindication." It goes on to say that his training officer kicked the suspect. It's signed Christopher Dorner. Finally, inside the package is a DVD, presumably what the note is offering as proof. On it is the testimony of the man that Dorner alleges that his training officer kicked back in 2007. The importance of all this couldn't yet be known by anyone at CNN. Dorner isn't named as a suspect in the targeted killings until February 6th. Honestly, if I'm the person who opens that package, I'm going to assume that it's of the kooky variety. What's important here is that at this point, Dorner has a plan in motion, and it actually starts several days before he attacks Monica and Keith. On February 7th, a day after Dorner is named as a suspect in the killings and the Facebook manifesto is out there, Anderson is made aware of the package. He contacts the FBI. That night, on his show, former Chief Bratton, who is on the target list, by the way, joins Anderson on air. He says he doesn't know who Dorner is, but he definitely wants him caught. And back in California, out at Big Bear, a huge, overwhelming police presence is being assembled to do just that. Thanks for watching, and be sure to hit subscribe so you never miss more stories from our show.